very much in agreement with a Gallup poll from a few years ago that shows that race relations took a dive, I think around the time of Trayvon Martin, when the media found that they could get a lot of money by ginning up racial hatred. So if you look at the Gallup poll of race relations, it sort of is flat for years, just years, flat, flat, flat. Trayvon Martin, and then it stays low after that. Why did it stay low? Was it just because of one story? No, it's because the media decided that that kind of story was the kind that really gets people going. So the media decides that to feed us, nonstop white people are racist stories, because it's really good content. Then you add to that the EIS and the DEI and the training that is now the major narrative, the thing that schools are teaching the kids and the things that corporations are talking about. And they're creating a narrative collectively, and then social media is a big part of this, of course. So if you add the media, I should have said media, not social media, but if you add all of these forces, they create a narrative, and I won't say what the percentage is, but there is some amount of the black population that's poisoned. They're just poisoned by the narrative. They are victims. They are literally victims. Now, the white population is just as much victims, in a different way. Because the media is not telling us anything like the truth. They didn't tell us about the Wuhan virus, right? Pretty much, wasn't there another story? Oh, the Katie Hobbs story. I'm not sure that that's even true. We'll find out. Don't know if the collapsing China is true. We don't know if the Ukraine war stuff is true. Basically, the media is unreliable. I guess you know that. So no matter what what percentage of the black population has been poisoned by this narrative, would you agree with the following statement? That all of these forces are pushing it into more. Like whatever it is now, there's going to be more of it, because the forces that caused it are all in play. Agreed? All right. So, if you imagine that the black population is victim, which I believe they are, victims, of programming that is not in their best interest. It looks like it's in their best interest, because the equity and the fairness and stuff, and there's a lot good. There's probably a lot good in there. I'm not going to say it's all bad, right? I'm just saying if you haven't accounted for the cost of it, then you're not done with the analysis. The benefits are obvious. Hey, we'll treat everybody better. I like that. The cost is that there's a cost on the white population because they're demonized by the collective forces here, and that there is a predictable response. The predictable response, at least one of them should be, to put some distance between people who have been victimized and are therefore weaponized. Here's another word for it. I would say that the media and our education system are weaponizing part of the black population. And not necessarily physical weapons. I'm talking about intellectually weaponized, to have an immediate racial frame on things that maybe you don't need a racial frame on. Okay. So that's the story. So everybody who says, Scott, you relied on Rasmussen, they are correct in their criticism